Hello and welcome to Old Taku Katsu. This is the show where we review and discuss episodes of anime, new and old. Today we're going to talk about Remake Your Life, or is it Our Lives? Now I can't remember. While I double check the name of the thing we watched, I'm going to introduce Vicky.
If I could go back and do it again, I absolutely would. Hell yeah.
And Patrick.
If I could go back and do it again, that would be cheating, wouldn't it?
If I could go back and do it again and have all of the organizational skills and confidence that I have now, I still wouldn't do it because it sucked. But pretending that it would all be better, then yeah, okay, I would do it. So we did watch Remake Our Life, which is the first episode is 50 minutes. They went ahead and did a full hour special nonsense.
Yes, Cori.
And
Cori, please. No more katana gachas.
Yeah. Halfway through, halfway through, they had like a credit sequence, and I was like, oh, that's the end. And then it kept going.
Oh,
and I was
that's
like,
right.
hold on. It was like two credit sequences.
Song. This is the opening song, 30 minutes. And look, I didn't know it was going to be 50-minute long double episode, but it was. So, yes, in this show, we are going to talk about Remake Our Lives, which is a show about a dude who is 26 years old. He loses his job, gets a new job, loses that job, and then the rest of the show happens. Which is he gets to go back in time 10 years to when he was 16, 18. It's a little weird because it did say 10 years, but he said he's 26, but he definitely went to college. So I'm like, wait, is this high school college? I don't quite follow the numbers.
Japanese college.
I mean, you said 26. Did you say 28 or 26?
So we went back 16.
That's what I thought.
I thought he was 28.
I mean, let's pretend he was 28, so it makes sense in American
There
lines.
you go.
Yeah.
So, he was 28, and he was 18, and he got accepted to college when he was 18, but he decided to go to business college instead of becoming a art student. And then his life was not as good, and then he said, okay, you know what? I messed up. I'm going to start trying to do game development, and he did that, and it failed twice, at minimum. So yeah, that's what we're going to talk about, and then we'll have our B-side afterwards. So let's start with our early riser, always awake, always ready, always prepared. Vicky, what did you like about this show?
So, it was a shock that it was that long. I thought I was losing my mind. I was like, is this actually that long? But it doesn't actually feel like it's 50 minutes long. Because it had good pacing. I feel like it could have done less with like the present time as the setup for going back to the past, but
2016.
Mm-hmm. But because at first it was like, oh, his life isn't so bad because then he actually got to work for the company he likes. It's just once it all failed again, that's when he went back. I don't know. I like the characters that were in it and the desire to like, man, this isn't what I wanted. I wish I could do it over again. Because I feel that deeply where it's like, man, I wish I knew back then what I knew now. I would do it all different. Like, make the changes to make life more satisfying. It's similar to Kimi to
Okay, yes.
where it's like that longing of something. So it's a hard watch because it's like, man, I feel that desire to be like,
you're right.
Yeah,
it feels.
Yeah. And it's like, I get that desire to want to change things, and like when you get that chance, man, yeah. Also, their eyes are so pretty. Man,
Yeah.
I would just look at their eyes all the time.
Me too. I'm glad you mentioned that. I was like, hopefully that means, because again, like peculiar, it's always about the eyes when you look at like anime. Like you judge it, I judge it basically solely on the eyes.
Yeah.
All the dude's eyes had the coolest look to it. Like I like
So
the
cool.
color combo, and then the like little I want to say cascading, but the gradient, like little gradient top was really a nice touch. I liked his coloration the most. But yeah. So, anything else?
Yeah, that's about like I did like it. It's just hard to pinpoint exactly like the specifics because it's the overall like capturing of like if you could go back and then going back and like trying again. And then even still going back and being like, damn, I'm really like having that extra 10 years of knowledge and experience and like being older but actually being young again. Still not messing up but still like needing to actually put in the work to make things right better. It's just it's too real in how it captures that feeling.
Yeah, I mean, we all have that innate desire to do better than we did, especially with knowledge of what you messed up and how you could have done better. I was actually watching a completely random different anime called Tsukimichi, and it's just kind of a silly. It's a isekai, but it's kind of a reverse isekai. Anyway, so there's a whole bit in there where he relives getting being asked out by a girl, and he didn't answer it very well, so he cried.
Yeah, everyone can relate to that.
Just awkward and didn't know what to do, which I've done that.
Mm-hmm.
It's uncomfortable when you think about it. Anyway, and so. Like, it's just this idea of, like, yeah, if I could do it better. And so then, of course, because it's anime, he meets another character in this isekai world who's, like, looks exactly the same. So he's like, I want to do better this time. It's it's a natural sort of just kind of like, if I could do better, I will. But it is a show about this guy just being sad about not being able to make it and looking up to these people he never knew who are famous now in the future in 2016 in the show's timeline. Mm-hmm. So Patrick, what about you?
Oh man, all I gotta say about the show is heal. It's like I think I like the show. I did like the show too. It's even though it was a little bit slow paced for me, because maybe it's because it was an hour long episode, and I feel like they could have cut. They could have just jumped us into it without having to introduce. But they think they wanted to show us the struggle. Yeah. Episode 1 wouldn't have been enough if the first half wouldn't have been enough enticing because it would have just been him probably like, oh, I'm back in I'm back in 2006, and then it would have cut right there, right? Probably. Mm-hmm. But then you really need that second part with all the characters and him going through redoing college again, I guess. But.
Thanks. Thank you for very much saying that multiple times.
but it's just a fun thought experiment. I think it's the reason why I also like Steins Gate or Higurashi, because it's just like a different timeline that you're gonna do, and like you know your previous lifetime, and like you're just trying to redo it again. I can't not say heal because it's just like. You're redoing. It's a remake our life. You're redo healer. You're just you know all your past knowledge, and you're just jumping back in time, and trying to redo it. I mean, it kind of feels. Me and Cori were talking about that. Kind of feel like the trend now, just redoing, like Tokyo Revengers, Mushoku Tensei. I mean, even redo healer, whatever. But
I don't count.
Oh no, okay, no, okay.
But redo healer, right? There's an anime called Real Life, which we were talking about before we recorded. Then there's Tokyo Revengers, like you said, and then of course Redo of Healer, and then this show. There is this trend of shows that are go back in time and relive your life and do it a different way. It's video game,
right?
The anime.
Mm-hmm.
The movie that they made from the novel All You Need Is Kill, which was turned into Live Die Repeat, which before they changed that was called The Edge of Tomorrow.
Yes, Edge of Tomorrow, yep.
Because they decided to change the title after the movie came out and they sold it on DVD because that's a good idea. I don't know. Anyway, good movie, really good novel, equally good manga. I have bought it for myself, my brother. It's great. You should all of the even the Hollywood is one of those few adaptations of Japanese stuff that was amazing
Oh yeah.
in English. Amazing.
Yeah, no, it's just kind of that, again, with no pun intended, redoing your, if you had a chance. Like, a lot of people, I think, like Vicky was saying, very relatable where, like, you would want to, if you had the chance to just, be able to redo your life. But no, it kind of feels kind of like a basic show. You're just watching this guy, living really doing his college life and his experience and his mindset, and you can relate to that. I think a lot of people would want to, if they had the chance, to redo something in their life. Not as drastic as a 10-year shift, but just something simple, like maybe yesterday. I wish I could have done that differently. And I think that's very common. We just want to like at our best, and I think we have the struggle of, man, I could have done better. Every day, I just could have done better. And for him, he's kind of been thinking about this ever since. Like his whole up to now, when he's 28 or 26, he's always been thinking about that. But I think for him, he's always like, feel like he's always trying at least. Cause even he was older, he just kind of like, if that was his breaking point when he failed at 28 again, and that would seem to be like, okay, I'm ready to give up and I want him to go back. And then bam, wish fulfillment. Also, but there's one weird point where he's like, it goes into his mind, and like there's a director. Like, do you remember that scene where he's telling the director, like, okay, you gotta run into the door? And I was like, is he playing mind games with himself?
There were like 3 points in the midpoint of this 50-minute epic that we watched where I'm like, what? What? Wait, what? Like the whole director scene, completely unexplained. I can't remember now if he looked like he was an adult or 18-year-old.
He had face hair. Yeah, he was old.
Yeah.
Right.
So I was like, that was a real thing. I don't understand. Then there was the point where he got the second job. I was like, wait, is this the past? Like I could not be sure what it was. It was very, it felt more disjointed than it probably is because I was waiting for the thing to happen. I was waiting for plot to occur, and the plot was being like, no, this is plot relevant. And I'm like, no, it's not. And then it happened. And I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to know who this red-haired girl who's supposed to jump off a bridge is. Like, because he thinks he's going to save her, and then he gets a job.
Right. I'm kind of conflicted because, like, is it a comedy or is it just a drama, like a life story?
Exactly.
So I don't know how, I don't know how to feel.
So this will get to our B-side, but this show is definitely, at minimum, a minor drama comedy.
Right.
It's not a dramedy because it's not like dramatic, but it's got drama and it's got like very low stakes humor.
It's also at least a 5.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Maybe a 6.
I know there's a beach episode. Freaking like
that intro, that ending intro, like where they just show the girls. Like, yep, that's
Yep, at least 6.
They are full on hitting 5. They are cruising for a 6. I mean, I watched the beginning. I watched more than one episode because I was just doing other stuff and I was just like farming and crap. I was mindlessly doing stuff. And second episode, there's a girl in his crotch, but that's not the show. It's so
again
weird.
Well, first episode, there's a girl in his crotch.
Was that first episode? I told you it blends together. Girl in his crotch, like just like, hey, and then there's like milk thing and dripping off his face.
Also best girl.
But that's not what this show is. Like it's so unbalanced. It's uneven.
I was like, what girl just
the
sleeps?
blue hair girl?
Just sleeps on a bed because there's a couch probably.
I forgot my futon, so I borrowed his. First off, that sounds great in your mind. In real life, that's fucking insane. What are you doing? Look, I think any reasonable heterosexual male would be like, that sounds like a good idea. But if it actually happened, you don't have a good way to deal with that. That doesn't make you liable for crimes. Like you're just like, that sounds good if everything works out. But the moment that they're
Yeah,
It's like, why? Why would you think that's a good idea? To just sleep next to someone. Maybe her pajamas were done up better, but I would be in my full-on clothes if I ever did that.
yeah.
Just
Man, they very lovingly crafted her that like introduction to her midriff, her whatever you call her hips. that
it was just.
I was like shit.
I'm like, no, I'm just like, yeah, like it's supposed to be, it's edgy, it's comedy, but it's trying to tackle a serious topic with him, and it's like he wants to be really his storyline is very serious, but that girl is particularly just an edgy part of it. The focus of the show is him being super serious and doing his life, but like everything around him seems to kind of like throw a curveball to what the show is supposed to be. So it's weird.
It's one of the things I wrote in here is this is not Genshin.
No.
Like it's just so not get like it could have been if they wanted it to be, but it's not. It's so not get like I can't even really quantify it. And I said this to you before, Patrick. It's so middle of the road. This show.
Mm-hmm.
The show is so just like it's a little bit of a lot of things in an okay amount. Like the art's good, but it's also standard. The interesting eye thing is kind of like unique to the show for the more or less. The premise is not that unique because I just listed off 3 things that I've seen or at least seen parts of. Same idea. Go back 10 years, try it again. Right? It's not time travel. It's just do it again. Like, go back to school, try again. The show. Yeah, and what I do like about it, because I'm gonna just go ahead and move on to what I like about it. Yeah, it's like it's fine. It's like a mildly ecchi show. It's not anything crazy. It's about being an adult, right? I think it's really easy to find your shonen action shows, and there's always going to be 20 of them, and one of them's going to be good. And the older I get, the more I care less about those. And then My Hero shows up, and I'm like, I'm back on the train. Because I really was. I did have a good 5 years. Where I'm like, I think I'm done. I'm done with shonen anime now. I can't watch another not Naruto do not anything useful or new. Asta, Black Clover, not that great. Not in my opinion, anyway. But yeah, it's about a dude trying to make it and not feeling like he's doing it. And as someone who at 28 years old had only just got back on the success train, as it were, I could feel that real personally. Because when I was 28, I had just got back into college, basically, just finished, basically. So I had my 2 years, then I was off for 10 years, then I was back, and I was like, hey, and then obviously I met you two, and it's just like, life is back on track. It took forever, and I was pissed off the whole time in between, constantly. And it didn't help I lived next to college. I'm like, I just want to go back. I don't have any money, though. I owe too much money. And so this I like you said, Vicky, it's real. It's a real problem. And then girls in his face.
Right.
The tone is so if I can compare it to I don't remember the name. Oh, here we go. Higehiro, right? Higehiro could have been more serious.
I think if it were, it would have been a totally different tone of the show.
It would have been.
Absolutely.
It would have been.
It should have been, because taking in a teenage girl, that's,
I think it would have been a better show. I said that before. And I still like Higehiro for the trashiness that it is. But if it would have been more serious, right, it would have been, I think it would have been a better show. It would have had a real message versus just being wish fulfillment. And maybe I'm just getting old and I don't want as much wish fulfillment anymore. But this show doesn't do it as well as Higehiro. And I wanted Higehiro to be more serious. And this show is just tossing stuff in the air. Let's go! Everything, all the things. But it's doing it in a way that isn't bad, just isn't great.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of fluff, which is
Yes,
I don't want to like
a
jump in.
lot.
I don't want to jump into what we don't like about the show, but but it's a lot of fluff.
Because I don't have a good way to explain what I like about the show. I like the show just fine. It is a 7 out of 10.
Yeah,
Really? That's high.
I give it like a 5 or 6. It's kind of like I said, it's a generic.
It's a 7 out of 10 in total, but that's it. Like, I'm not telling people to watch the show. I'm saying it's fine. It is a 7 out of 10. It is a C.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
A 5 is like you failed the show. Let me give you an example of a 5 to me. Scar and the Praetor. That's a 5. Like, that show is
man.
It
I
works.
got a 4.
I was gonna say drop
Like
in the grave.
Like, as far as I know, and that was one episode, right? As far as I know, the plot technically makes sense. It's a 5. Like, it's a D. Like, you're not an idiot. That's the show. And then everything else, a 1 through a 4 is just like, this show broken. It didn't work. The cameraman died. The plot stopped. The last episode of the original Evangelion where nobody understood what was going on, that's a 4. I don't know what happened. Not because it was confusing or mysterious, but because it was just not explained. That's a 4 or below, in my opinion. So
yeah, back to this show. It's just like I think we were kind of saying there's not really a clear direction of what the show wants to be, and everything seems to be kind of like fluffing or just extending. Like they're just like, oh, here's the story beats. Like, we have to have, let's throw in this edgy part. Let's throw in let's throw in the best friend. Like, it's very generic in that sense. But it's tackling a serious, quote unquote, serious topic for the main character. But it's just like all these other things kind of getting added to it, but it doesn't really. I feel like it doesn't add to the story as much as you'd want it to be.
Yeah.
Because like it just seems like it's at that point it's just life to life anime where it's like, oh, here's this event, they're gonna go shopping or they're gonna go to the beach, and it's like, yep, there's that. But the main point again is, especially with that first part, the first half was just like such a serious tone. Like literally, he was just like failing, and he's trying his best, and he's working his way up, and he fails.
Yeah, he's a hard worker, and it's not rewarded because the company that is just like, we don't care.
Yeah, like
his dreams are getting crushed.
Right, it's like you root for this dude. Like, you are really rooting for him. Like, you want him to win so bad, but it's just like, hope here's some more fun stuff to kind of detract away from that part. And probably might have been different if it's because I know the next episodes are just 30-minute episodes, right? Like episode 2 and whatever, they go back to normal 30-minute episodes, and maybe that will be changed. Maybe that will, like, I don't know, because Cori said you've seen this episode 2, and if it follows that same formula where it's like, here's him and then here's the story beats.
So I will talk about what the rest of the show starts becoming, but I don't, from what I've seen, because I didn't like watch it, but I did watch it. Like, I had it playing on the side here, and basically it does that. It just kind of switches. Like, it's not a comedy, really. Like, Genshin's a comedy. This is not, but it has a lot of like things that are supposed to be jokes. But then it does get serious, and it talks about trauma-like things. I don't know if I want to go so far as to call it trauma, but things that are difficult for people to deal with, real life kind of normal stuff. Blue-haired girl, she is not confident in her abilities to do anything. But she's also obviously a really good artist, right?
Yeah.
She becomes part of the Platinum Gin.
Yes.
Right. They all basically, yeah. And then blonde girl, as she was referred to in one of the episodes, she's not confident in some other stuff. I'll just say it. She can sing all right, but she's a little bit tone deaf. But she really, really wants to sing. But instead, she just says, like, I'm going to be an actor. So, like, dealing with that. But again, that was, like, resolved in one episode. The teacher is the sister of the boss from the first episode.
Yes, that makes sense.
And the boss in the first episode becomes a tsundere, basically. Like, she's a tsundere as a teenager, young adult, and then as she ages up 10 years, she becomes like super cool. That was interesting. So she's depending on your belief on what a tsundere is, she's not a true tsundere because she doesn't stay that way. I don't know. You tell me. Yeah, and then dude, the guy, we don't really know yet.
Oh.
The sports guy, the ninja guy.
No,
The
not the
lazy one.
sports guy.
The lazy best friend.
Oh, the sleepy guy.
Yeah, he's actually like a good writer and stuff, and blah, blah, blah. That's it. We don't know what his issue is, I guess. And the thing is, the main character's issue is that in the past he was scared and didn't do stuff, and now he's in the future and he's sometimes scared, but then he does stuff. And it's like, all right, cool, you've already resolved your problem. Where's your hero's journey, buddy? That's where we are. I think the show is almost a flat line. Like, it's just like stuff is going to happen, but nothing's actually going to be like growth until it needs to, like, plot happens. Oh, we've grown now. I think that's why the show is so middle of the road.
Yeah, because even with his 10-year like gap on everyone, he's still behind like even the freshmen that are in that class. Right. And it's like, if you can go back in time with all of your knowledge of present and still not be able to use it, so to speak, in the past, that just seems like a waste of remembering your future past future life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I would have hella been like, it's this and this, like, just be a shining. Well, maybe not, because it's kind of that, it's kind of like, if you're too good, you can't always be that good because you're not actually gifted. You're just using future knowledge to like show off, and then it can lead to a decline.
Okay, so yes, but at the same time, like, okay, so like, let's say we all went back to high school today.
Okay.
Right. I'll use my real life example.
We all went back to college. We all met in college again.
I would go back to college.
When I went back to college, I had to take Spanish again. Now, I had taken Spanish, I had taken German, and then I'd taken Spanish in high school, and then I took like one class of Spanish in college first time. Then I had to leave because I ran out of money. And then when I got my money situation squared away 10 years later, I went back to school and had to do more Spanish. I forgot, and this is my story I tell everyone, I forgot how to say no in Spanish. And for the people who know Spanish, the word for no in Spanish is the same word for no in English.
Really?
That's how bad my anxiety was. That I didn't even say no in English, which would have been the correct word in Spanish.
You should have just faked it and be like, no?
No, that's French.
Right. So I just sat there, and the teacher was like, "Sí or no? Sí or no?" And I'm like, and then it eventually dawned, oh, no. But it was like literally like 2, 3, 4 minutes of me just being like, I don't know how to say no in Spanish. Like, and so if you don't know or you weren't very good, and in his case, he didn't go to school for this. So this is all new to him other than practical experience. So while I don't go to work every day and think about, the state capitals I memorized, right? In like 8th grade. And sometimes that could be technically relevant, but not really because I could just Google it. That's the kind of stuff that in school is relevant, and in your job day to day, you're almost never going to need it. And so unless it does come in handy, which it does for him because he did so much like editing, producing, yada, 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 that practical will transfer. But all the like hard knowledge that he needs, that doesn't transfer. So it's kind of cool because he's not a true isekai protagonist going back in time and knowing all the stuff and being able to cheat. Now, could he use that knowledge to bet on some sports games and make some money? Probably. And that's my first thoughts. Like, is he going to do that? No, they're not going to do that. But that does come up, though. His prior knowledge of the future has an effect on the past, and that comes up in the second episode, which is interesting.
With that said, that he doesn't have the technical knowledge that you learn in college, he just has the practical from being on the job. Doesn't that show that college wouldn't have really prepared him for work, because he's already doing the job? I know there's plenty of jobs out there where you'll go to school for, like, particularly computer sciences, and that by the time you graduate, it's just, you can't use it. You have to actually learn more on the job than school actually prepares you for.
I think that's common. Yeah.
I will say this argument for that, because I know that sometimes people get that feeling like college isn't worth the time for one reason or another. It's not really too expensive. My debt says as much. But the issue is twofold, right? You go to college to show you can do the work. So when you graduate, everyone who would hire you can say, at minimum, they can do college level work. Mm-hmm. How accurate that is has a lot to do with your program and what college you went to and all this other stuff. And then the other thing is, especially if you go to liberal arts college, you have a broad enough understanding of many things, and are you able to bring them together to make something useful? Because there's nothing wrong with becoming like an electrician or a carpenter or any of those jobs where you can be an apprenticeship or go join an apprenticeship at like age 17, 18, right? You just need to pass some basic like math and writing tests and then start. And you're learning but getting paid at the same time. And that practical experience over 5 or so years, you become a master electrician, a master carpenter, master whatever. That's great because you're just going to keep doing that. And you just got to keep up with codes, right? And that's basically what working is. Like you do it and then you learn some extra stuff as you need to or as you're required to, hopefully for good reason. When you're doing something that is primarily focused on your interpretation of data, your collection of data, or being accurate or understanding research, you need practice. And that's what college is. It is a formal practice, a practicum, if you will, of data collection, research, knowledge, maybe practicing practical skills for your job, like blah, 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 blah. So yes and no. It just depends on what you're going to school.
Yeah, it's also just good for learning how to interact with other people, expanding your horizons outside of like your high school experiences. I'm not saying college isn't worth it. It's timely. It's just, it should be free because the knowledge that you get in it doesn't necessarily always translate directly to working. It's good experience, but the money is not.
I would say if it's not free, because I'm definitely down for that for a lot of personal and less personal reasons, but if it wasn't free, there should be a clearer way to explain how much money you're going to make or expected to make in a given field in a given place, how likely it is you're going to get a job. Before you even go to college, that stuff should be easily available or at least accessible when you ask for it from anyone who would know about it. And you should also be able to have a direct pipeline to the industry you're looking for. Even if you're not guaranteed a job, like give me direction. Like don't just say like good luck, figure it out, because that's where people who don't have connections have the most trouble. And if you're a hard worker, you'll figure it out eventually, but eventually it might take 5 years and then you're this guy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because people are going to be afraid. People are going to give up. People are going to drop out. People are going to run out of money like me. People are going to have problems in their life to stop them. They're going to get sick. They're going to have kids. They're going to move. Stuff's going to happen. But if you can at least tell me what the plan is, then if I want to, can make an educated guess. And I can try. Like, all right, look, you're going to try and get a master's degree. That's going to cost you at least $70,000 by the time you're done with both programs. Minimum. Because this. And it'll probably go up because that's how the world works. All right, cool. Thanks for letting me know. Right? So if you're going to go live in a dorm, add another $20,000 in that. Oh, you know what I mean? Like, that'd be great to have, even if it's just rough estimates. And then, again, like Germany has this program. I don't know how well it works nowadays, but I remember learning when I was in high school, because of German class, that you go ahead and go to school, and then depending on the kind of school you want to go to, as you get older, it trains you for a specific industry, and then you get an internship, and then you're just doing it, and it just has a different effect. Because if everybody was like, I want to be, so like psychology is the most common major in liberal arts colleges, especially. I think it's all colleges, but I'll at least say liberal arts colleges. Psychology is the most popular undergraduate. Most of those people aren't becoming therapists or psychologists or researchers or psychiatrists or anything relevant to psychology, but they get the psychology degree. I don't know why they do. I know I did it. So, yeah, but that's the most popular. So many people get psychology bachelor's degrees, it doesn't make any sense because they're not all using it for relevant job experience after at least a couple of years.
Right. I think it, like we stated before, it's kind of like it's like that barrier to entry to go to college, but that barrier to entry of like getting the degree is also another barrier to entry for applying to jobs, right? There's that little layer between going into the school and once you graduate, you use that as a factor of being able to apply. And like I said, all people see you that you're able to put in the work and all that stuff, and that's why you're able to. But with the whole thing, with the money part of the college, like that is the tough part of if it was free, and I think a lot of people would obviously take the opportunity. Going back to the show is that he
no I got one more point.
Okay, no. I was gonna say quick. No, go on. Go Vicky.
No, you can go.
So my only point was the on ramp to getting a job is so complicated because they always want more experience than anyone who needs a new job can have. And that's why we need that on ramp, right? Because we're asking for a degree, but the person can't go to college, but they're smart enough, or they've been to college but they haven't finished.
Exactly.
Messes up. Or someone's worked in the same industry for 10 years, but they can't move up because they don't have a degree. It stops making sense at some point. And those requirements are becoming more and more consistent, where someone has to have a degree in something. It doesn't even have to be relevant anymore, and that experience. Or just someone has a degree and says, I'm good. And if they get hired, they get hired because they have the degree.
Like, do they look it up and see if you actually have a degree? Like, how do they know?
I mean, you got to give them something, yeah. You have to give them something. But
I don't think so. I've never seen where they're like...
It depends. It depends on the job.
Are they like, upload your degree, we want to see proof?
So, like, in my instance, it's like, what's your license? Do you have a license? Or what is your background? What and then I want to see, and then I'll look it up. Like when I was trying to hire people, I was like, okay, let me see your MMPI number. Let me see your license number. It's a whole thing. So, all right, go ahead, Patrick. I'm done talking. Yes. I'm sorry, everybody.
Yes. No. Vicky, go for it.
I just want to say real quick that I went to bartending school, right? And you had to pay to do
Me too.
that. And they gave you like, was it in Minneapolis, the university?
Maou Avenue.
Yeah. Yep. University Avenue, y'all. Bartending school.
Yeah, University Avenue.
You pay to intern, but you have like guaranteed job placement for life, like once you're done with the training, and it could be like.
I didn't try that hard anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously am not a bartender now, but it's like. It's a training, it's school that you're paying for, like an education of doing a thing, and then they help you get a job, like, later. But college is just like, all right, you're off on your own. Take this knowledge that you've hopefully learned and go forth. Like, if they had that pipeline you were talking about to, like, jobs that was more guaranteed, it would make it worth that money. But for so many people, it's like, I have a degree, still can't get a job. For various reasons.
Now, see, imagine if this show talked about half the stuff we just talked about. It would be a very different show. They could leave in all the level 5, level 6 ecchi if they wanted. I'd be like, cool, great. But then it would be like, yeah, this is how we get it. And this show only like touches on it, like it pokes it with its fingernail, like it's like and then it moves on.
I was gonna mention that point where like I see it. That was gonna bring that point up where. For him, he has the two options to go to, like the economic school, like business school versus the creative arts school where he's currently in now. He went through that business school, and his outlets were not, he that's where you get to see him kind of fail, but his job isn't guaranteed. But it seemed more of a stable, quote unquote, stable position, like a business degree or whatnot.
It was safe to do.
Yeah, and then, but we figured out in that pathway it wasn't, like he still failed, even though that was he thought he picked a normal stable job, or a common job, but that didn't plan out the way he wanted to be. But that's where he goes to his redoes his life and goes to the art school. But there's that teacher, the sister, right? The teacher, she's like, only like 4 or like 8 people out of like 100 or 20 are gonna be able to succeed. And this is where like I like the part because they kind of touch upon like, oh, you being creative entertainment, it means nothing because people like they can get their entertainment any way they want to, and they rather like they rather have their food, shelter, like their needs before they ever touch entertainment. And so like it is still not guaranteed just as much as if he probably his normal life when he was at 28. So like the outcome of even if they did get a degree, like it's still flimsy. Like they're not guaranteed.
Well, it's like American voice actors, especially Funimation American voice actors. There's like 10 of them.
Yeah,
10. Johnny Young Bosch, I don't have a problem with him, but he's in everything. I need to not hear him in everything when I'm watching a young bullet. Like, I'm good. Johnny, I have no problem with you. Your Ichigo was perfectly fine, even though I watched most of it in Japanese anyway. I want somebody else. Me, personally, I would love to be a voice actor. Not going to happen. Because they're like, we got Johnny Young Bosch. Why do we need you?
Not with that attitude, Cori.
Yeah, not with that attitude.
Look, I'm passionate about a lot of things, and that's one of them, but that is definitely not something I'm putting enough effort into. Like the girl who wants to be a singer but is an actress, or like the dude who wants to be an artist but he goes to business school. It is a show that hits on good points, but it doesn't always take them far enough. At least it hasn't. In the few episodes I've watched, and in the first episode, like Mushoku Tensei, you can kind of tell, like, is this going to be, or not Mushoku Tensei, Higehiro, is it going to be that serious? No. It's very middle of the road.
Right.
I think that's probably what I don't like about it, is that it doesn't go far enough with the premise of going back in time and, like, redoing it all. Because, yep, he went to business school, but he left that line of work to go work with a game company, and that failed. And then he started working with another game company, and that failed. Going back to a creative school doesn't necessarily guarantee that he'll have success. It's just kind of, he gets to try his hand at learning what he learned on the job. Because he was already doing creative work.
Right, exactly. Or associated, like, it's not in being in the industry, but still it's like in that being that area, kind of. I kind of want to, like, not to jump into what if we want to continue watching the show or not, but I want to see like him fail, but like not get to his point, like try to make it, but not get to what he imagined. Because I want to compare it to his previous business life versus his creative life. Let's say an easy way is that he succeeds and he's amazing in his creative life, but that's a very basic show like premise, right? But the flip side would be no, he's still having struggles. Like he's 28 with this degree, and he's now just comparing his two lives, his business life versus his arts creative life, but he's still like making it,
I'm a little bit annoyed that he's stupid because he literally meets at least 2, if not 3, of the platinum whatever generation or whatever, and one of them, they give her the nickname the first day of the name of one of the platinum generation. And I'm like,
well, to be fair, she was like, it's Shino Aki. She didn't say Shino Akikashi. Akikashi? Something like that.
But it's her. But it is her. And then you saw the art, and it's like, well, it's her, dumbass. You just said her name. Where do you... Oh, and then, what's the other girl's name? Nana. How is her name stylized? N@N-A. Same one.
I just realized that myself.
You know they went to the same school. You know this. You're not an idiot. stop being stupid.
I don't think he knows they all went to the same school so much as they're from that same
Clearly,
time.
He
period.
does.
No,
He does.
he does
He
know
does
that
know.
they all went to the same
Yes.
school. Now,
Oh.
we as viewers are smart because we've watched anime before, so we
It's
know
true.
anime contrivances
Yep.
mean that all of them are the platinum, blah, 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 whatever they're called. But he lived, like, her name is Nanata. You should at least be like, are these the platinum generation before they're... We'll see. Like, he could have done that, and I would have been like, yep, they are. It's obvious.
Like,
to
his
me.
whole motivation seems to just be that to meet the platinum generation, not to make something of himself. It's just that I want to meet them. Maybe I'll be one of them. It's like, how? What are you bringing? What are your skills
Right,
to
he's a producer coon.
Yep.
Actually, if becomes a really good producer, that would be a focus that he would talk about. But he just seems to be like, I wish I went to school, to this school, and maybe I'd meet them. But it's like, what are you going to do with that? What do you want to do?
Yeah, I honestly think that the arc of this show is all of them become good, and he also.
Yeah.
I hope that he actually does like a time travel where he is part of the platinum crew, and like he sent himself back in time to become part of the platinum crew, and so when we jump forward back to 28, he's like he sees himself, but he's also in platinum.
And then you know what he's gonna do? He's gonna save that anniversary game.
Oh yes.
I'm waiting for it. Like, I know, I'm like episode whatever, 12 or whatever. It's like, and then he saves the anniversary game. Like, that is literally the entire. I'm like, yep, that's what this show is. Just, and then he goes back. I mean, because Tsundere not Tsundere is a good whatever. She's talented. She knows what she's talking about. She just apparently has bad luck too. So either he's gonna hook up with Tsundere not Tsundere, or he's gonna hook up with the blue-haired girl. But I don't know. This show is such a 7 that I'll probably just play it in the background and be like,
such a 7.
A
What a diss.
It's a 6, right? Vicky, it's a 6.
Yeah, it's a 6. Like, also to jump to, if I'm gonna rewatch, I'm good with just the 50-minute, like, because kind of like Kimi no Tsudoke, you can watch that and be good.
Yes.
And it's just...
Disagree. What? Did you just agree? Patrick, you better watch the rest of that.
No, I gotta watch Kimi no Toge, but like again, you're satisfied watching this first bit. Like, it's like a movie. Like, okay, you assume everything's gonna go well. You just assume it's gonna go well because that's the type of show. It's anime. It's like, it's anime. It's gonna go well.
And it doesn't have enough to grab my complete interest versus the longing of, man, I wish I could go back. Like, just go back to school. Even, I don't even have to go back in time so much. If I could just, at this point, just go back to school, not have to worry about anything, I would do it. Just, walking around campus, just seeing all the people play that one zombie game where, like, they run around
Oh,
campus.
yeah.
I think I saw that.
Just,
I don't know what you mean.
It's still COVID time, so you can do it. Have fun.
yeah, but at this point, it's like, I don't want to. It's just like, it's just, because I see so little, I see so little coming from completing a degree, so to speak, that it's like, it would just be for the saying of it, like, yeah, I finished, but it wouldn't actually.
That's
be
very
worth
common though.
anything.
I think a lot of people feel the same way.
You should only. I'm gonna try to be careful not to overgeneralize, but you should do the things that are worth doing to you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, are there things you have to do? Of course. But the things that you can choose to do, only do the things that are important to you, that are valuable, right? Spend time with the people who are valuable to you. Do the work that is valuable to you, right? Take care of things that are valuable to you. Because when you're put in a situation where you're doing stuff you don't like, don't want, or hate, then you have people quit their jobs because they realize that they suck. You know, this whole like great resignation, hoopla that people are talking about. It's essentially just identifying like, hey, these low-wage jobs suck. We don't want to work them. Let me look for something better. And they can. You can legitimately consider getting a better job because everyone is considering getting a better job.
Especially now.
It's the same reason why democracy actually works when we all can agree, oh yeah, I have an opinion and it matters. Do something with it. And then it will eventually coalesce with enough other people that something will happen. Preferably non-violently. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm fortunate enough that I've now found value in my work. It took, 5-6 years to get to this point, but I'm used to doing what I have to do because we live in a society that now that I've
money's the thing.
Yeah. And it's not where I saw myself at all when I was a kid, like at all, but it's where I see myself now as an adult with like responsibilities and
dogs.
things. Yeah, and a dog and a man. Like you have this.
You bought a man? How much are those running nowadays?
Free $99.
I could use one of those too.
Wait,
free $99?
Free
or $3?
Oh, free. Man.
Free $99. I could use the man for free $99.
Free $99?
Women, unfortunately, are
oh boy, let's not.
Much more like no.
She said it, guys, not me.
Yeah, I can make so many jokes. Some of them are related to slavery, but we're gonna not.
All right.
We're just gonna gloss over that.
Yeah. Edit point. And so the real point is, at the end of the day, is this character, whose name I don't remember because I'm bad at names already.
It's like it starts with an H. Hashiba. Is it Hashiba?
I believe it's Hashiba.
Hashibi.
That's a dog name.
Aki Haraba. No, 28-year-old Hashiba Kyoya. Yep, Hashiba.
There.
All right. Anyway, so basically, what his deal is he goes back in time, not on purpose, just it happens, and now he's making choices he didn't make before, and that is a generally satisfying story, but it's also kind of like whatever, because they don't do a great job of balancing all these ideas and these thoughts and feelings and emotions and relationships. And as a show, it's kind of it's fine. Just whatever, and I think it's perfectly good to watch in the background. I don't think I would watch it all just for the story, because I think it's going to be very whatever. It's going to be boring and bland if you really just marathon it. But yeah, Patrick?
No, I don't. I will not continue watching it. It seems pretty predictable, Yeah. The way
Patrick. Oh. Patrick. So you picked the teacher, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say okay. Honest, one note I was gonna say was like I like the voice acting and the sister. Yeah. I mean, the older sister, the sister character.
The
no, not the no. His sister, Hashiba's sister, the one that wakes him up.
Okay. Okay.
I'm like, I pick
that
her.
we saw for 2 seconds.
Yeah, I pick her. But the older version, not the 10-year revert. The one that was the first one that wakes her up. She has a great voice actor. I pick her. The older one.
I was watching. I'm like, okay. If I pretend to know Patrick's case, who's he gonna pick? I'm like, glasses, teacher,
but no,
guaranteed.
Okay,
I was way off.
Okay, no, you're 100% correct, because again, but she would be second. Yes, she would be second best. Yeah, teacher, second best.
I do like the teacher because she started off all sweet and then she was like, "Well, sucks for you all. You're stupid, and if you're gonna be stupid, at least make some money off of it."
Yes, exactly. Such a good
dumb
speech.
talent having motherfuckers.
That speech.
She was like, y'all done fucked up. Because it's true.
That would have been a great line. Welcome. Y'all done fucked up.
Like, look around you. Only 8 of you are gonna succeed.
Yeah.
Everyone's trash.
I've heard that, like, getting to vet school, like, everyone goes to animal science courses, and only, like, 8 of them will go into vet school. It's, like, it's at least 200 students in that, like, class. So it's wild.
I'll say this. like when I went to my master's program, it wasn't nearly 10% of my graduating class, who all got the same degree. And half the people in my master's program did not have a prior psychology or social work degree. So it's weird. It's a weird thing. Like there's a path that people tell you, and then there's a path that people take.
Mm.
And it's just, I think talking to people who've done it, but multiple different kinds of people, will give you the best idea of what it takes to get there, not how to get there. Because how to get there is what you do. What they did is what they did. But what it takes, I think that's more information. That's more helpful in the long term. All right. Shall we transition to the B-side?
Yes. What is the B-side?
If y'all could go back in time, when would you go back to?
Ooh, that's really good.
Oh.
Yeah, no, that's good.
So, okay, I've got a stock answer, and then I have a not actual answer. My stock answer is, I want to go back in time and meet Jesus, because if Jesus is real, I want to know that now.
No, like
if
your
Jesus
time.
isn't real, then I'll go back in time and be like, I'm going to die from diabetes. Not diabetes,
But no,
else.
back in your time.
Yeah, let's give it a cap. Within your life. This like 20-year, 30-year time gap.
Think about it. I have thoughts, but I'm gonna pass it to Patrick first.
Man, this is not a hard question for me because I love like the multiverse and string theory. I just love playing all these. I relive my life like all lots. I constantly do it because I have a lot of time, especially taking the buses. I literally have like 3 hours every day taking the buses. 1 hour 30 to go to class and 1 hour 30 to come back home. And so throughout my college life, my 4.5 years of college life, 3 hours every day for 4.5 years on the buses. That's a lot of time. That is a lot of time. And I can't study while I'm on the buses because I can't read while being in motion. So I just sleep and I redo what you want.
Did either of you see the Shang-Chi movie? Shang?
No, I did not.
Okay. So Aquafina has this such a stupid joke. So Shang and Aquafina's character, who Katie get on the bus, and they're Asian. If you don't know what Shang-Chi is about, and they're talking. Their parents are like, Katie's parents are like, "Why aren't you doing this? You're not living up to your potential." Yada yada yada. Asian stereotype type stuff. Right. They get on the bus and they're talking about that whole conversation, and then there's this other Asian woman on the bus writing her dissertation on it, and she's just like, that's impossible. I've tried to study on the bus.
It's impossible. You can't do it. I tried to as well. Exactly.
I think I've done homework on the bus, but man.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
Yeah.
I've read like 2 pages. On the bus, it's not a study environment.
Yeah, it is not.
Like, anything you learn on the bus, you forget as soon as you get off the bus. So.
Pretty much.
Exactly, especially if you're grinding for an hour, 30 minutes per session. And, but yeah, back to the point, I love thinking about what if scenarios. But unfortunately for me, I don't like go to the regretting part. Unlike him, the main character, he clearly regrets his life, like his choices. But for me, I enjoy those what if scenarios, and it's generally fun for me. So to answer your question, Vicky, it would be literally I could pick. It's a hard question because like now I could pick any point. I'm like I just want to see what that scenario plays out. Like if I could constantly go back in time, I would just have fun and just seeing what if scenarios.
So. If I'm going to go back in time at all, I'm going to go back to the earliest point in which I can make the most positive corrections, but suffer the relatively least. So I'm thinking like 16, 17, right before I graduated high school. Problem is, everybody I've met, including both of you, unless I had prior knowledge, I'd have to go fucking find you both.
That's true.
And that would be so much effort. So as much as I wouldn't mind changing a lot of things that have happened, and I would be able to be a billionaire because I would have invested in stuff that I know about now, I would probably not go back in time just because there's too many things I can't make happen again unless I make the same mistakes again, and those mistakes sucked, so I don't want to.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, knowing that 2008 happened, if I would have graduated when I was supposed to and got a job when I was supposed to, I would have had that job for maybe, I don't know how many years, 2, 3, 4 years. And then 2008 would have happened, and God knows if I would have got that job. And then God knows what I would have done at that point. Because I know for a fact that people with my education in Minnesota lost their jobs like in those careers. So I have no idea because I know what I could do now, but I got where I am now, so I can't complain. I could have complained 15 years ago. I would have been pissed. Everything I did was either a mistake or just not good enough for me or good enough for someone else. But now I got over the hump. So
right.
Unlike the 28-year-old there, he was like, I am in the ditch. I have nothing. I'm like, I got out the ditch. I fell in another ditch. I got out that one. I fell in another one. And now I'm not. I found out how to avoid ditches. So I will never hit the ditch again unless the world explodes, which I can't control.
Yeah, this question is really dependent on your mentality. Like Cori said, like, oh yeah, I don't think I wouldn't want to trade it because now I know I'm good at this point, and I rather accept this point in life. And for me, I'm like, it depends on your mentality and your state of mind. Because a lot of people who dive into that, like people who regret it, they would want to change it ASAP. But for me, there's some things I just like. I do think about it, and of course, it could have been better. But like Cori is saying, like it just wouldn't. I wouldn't be where I'm at today, and that's a cop-out answer. That's such a cop-out answer.
I don't think it's a cop-out answer because if you really, and this is where I talk too much, and I apologize, but this is the point though. Are you better now enough to be better in the past? Because if the mistakes you made in the past have not been learned well enough, why won't you just make it in a new way again? I mean, I think me personally, a lot of my concerns was always anxiety and fear. So I just never did enough to do what I needed to do. And so I just didn't make choices that needed to be made. Now I'm older, I make the choice. I'm like,
right. Yeah.
Something that happens, so it's going to happen. I'm not going to fuck up again. Not again. Do it. No, never again. Like, it's such a easy choice now. Because I start to feel, and I'm like, those feelings don't help me do nothing. So I'm going to get this done right now. And then I do. And yeah, I still make mistakes, but they're not the same mistakes. They're not the same intensity. I don't have the same struggle. And I'm older. I'm more comfortable. All the other stuff that comes with being older and not having hormones that are flooding through your veins. So,
that's true.
Vicky.
Yeah, Vicky.
What would you do?
Yeah, what would you do, Vicky?
I'd go back to middle of senior year of high school because that's where things, I would say that's my first real ditch, and like I could pinpoint that as like things going downhill, and like even now I still stumble and make the same like mistakes just as I've learned to over the years to cope with things. But I think that would be the point where I could at least have a fresh enough start with the knowledge that I have now to do better and actually succeed at what I set out to do. And just in general, like, keep my current knowledge and then hunt down everyone I know to be like, hey, probably won't believe this, but we're good friends. And then just like...
Oh, it's easy. You find my ass and you say, did you say Genshin?
Exactly.
That's all I would do.
Like, she said she knows Genshin.
Yep, that's all. And I was just like, hey.
You gotta find me like circa 2006 when Genshin was new, and just be like, hey, really tall guy, Genshin. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it would. I would absolutely take advantage of current knowledge and be like, hey, I know secrets. Well, actually, that would probably backfire.
Oh hell yeah! Oh my god, yeah! That freaked me the fuck out. I'd be like, you tell me something only I would tell myself, and you couldn't do that, so you'd lose. Because I'm that paranoid. So, all right, Patrick, This is a fun. We were going to talk about definition of harem anime, but I'm done with that now. We're talking about some other day. Patrick, okay, for the internet, for all the history, is there any way that a time traveler would convince you that they were on your side?
Ooh.
First, have you
All right, go ahead.
have either of you guys seen the new game 12 Minutes?
No.
I heard about it and I want to watch playthroughs of it. I know of it. Oh man.
Okay, because that is a great question, Patrick. What would you do? How would someone convince you they're a time traveler?
What's my secret code? Like, what is my?
And again, I'm paranoid, so you don't have to tell me a real one, but you got to give me some like general information. All right, I'll explain it. So, if I were to go back in time, because I've thought about this for most of my life, like really,
Right?
like,
No, yeah, me too, probably.
If I was going to go back in time to tell myself something, I always, every now and again, I just think of myself like at different points in my life, like what's something that you could tell me now in the future that would like I would recognize, like oh, it happened. Wow. Okay, tell me everything. Because otherwise, I'm like, I don't trust you. I don't know who you are. You know, especially like me, like 12, 15. I'm like, what? No. Life is scary. Whatever you're telling me is wrong. I wouldn't believe it unless you could convince me. Like, no. So here's what happened. And this is what happened. This is why it happened. Okay, now, you remember how you like this thing? Yeah, this, and this. All right, cool. Now, remember how you really liked Gohan? All right, he's gonna suck. Like, I would have to like go like that deep into it to convince myself. Like me going back myself, or like telling someone else to talk to John Connor. I'd be like, all right, you gotta talk to John Connor. Tell him these things in this order. It will work.
Right. Like what is the if I'm trying to like if the future me is trying to tell past me, if like comes into my and like trying to convince me to change or do something, convince me to make the rebellion. So with the Terminators,
right. Because I think inherently an older you coming back in time, telling a younger you that something that needs to be different, your younger you is immediately going to reject it, even if it makes sense to you. You're just like, no, this is insane. That's my assumption, though.
I think I would totally believe someone that came up to me and be like, "Hey, you won't believe this, but I'm you from the future." I would have just taken
it sounds like bullshit. That sounds like a lie.
No, I would have been like, "Tell me everything." I would have just point blank.
Everyone in the world who looks like Vicky, who's at least 5 years older than Vicky, go tell Vicky that.
I actually have a good answer, and maybe I'm revealing a little bit. Here is the scoop. Here's some spicy stuff. Not that crazy, but I would just take off my shirt because I have a scar of a birthmark on my chest that looks like a curse mark. Where it's literally it's literally dark. Sasuke when he does his curse mark on his face, mm-hmm. I have that partially on my chest. And so if a future me were to see like younger me like shows me his shit like you need convincing show you the chest like that's the same mark on mine.
Wow.
Why is this old man taking his shirt off in front of my child?
But that's also the weird implication exactly like you need convincing like I'd be like no.
Yeah, that's got complications.
Okay. So there's a show. There's an anime that I almost am certain no one who's listening to me has seen before, except for one person who we watched the show together. It's called Those Who Hunt Elves. Those Who Hunt Elves.
Is that the one about the toilet paper?
What?
Oh, I'll talk about that in a minute. Those Who Hunt Elves is not a great show. It is a fantastic cult hit show. Okay. Let me just put it like that. Those Who Hunt Elves is about 3 Japanese people who basically get isekai before isekai. They get isekai into this other world, and here's 3 very important things that happen because they're fun. 1, to get back to Japan, they have to find the magical tattoos that have been spread all over the world, and to do that, they have to hunt elves. Guess what? All the elves are women. And guess what? These magical things, they're on their skin. But they don't know who they are, so they just take off all their clothes to find out if they have it on their body somewhere. And that's the story. The second thing is, they give a tank and the tank gets possessed by the spirit of a cat. So the tank meows when it shoots its missiles or its bullets or whatever ammunition. And then the third thing that Vicky brought up is there's a bear called Pichu, and there's lots of them, and they're all white, and they poop toilet paper. Those Who Hunt Elves is wild, and it's great.
It's amazing. We should definitely watch. I'm gonna.
We should watch that.
I bought it like 2 years ago, like on a whim, and I was surprised I could buy it because it is more obscure than Genshin. I can't even buy that. Anyway, you reminded me of that because.
Yep, basically birthmark. If I know he has the same birthmark as me, like yes, that's an easy convention. Like, okay, no one else has this, just you.
Have you guys seen the new Mortal Kombat movie?
Yes.
Yep.
That's basically how they like convince that guy. Is like, you've got this mark. He's like, how do you have my birthmark? It's like, it's not a birthmark. Except for him, it was because it was passed down through the family line. But like, if someone else tried to convince past me that they were like a time traveler and they had information for me, I think if they shared any personal details of my childhood, like my dog Princess or the cat at the trailer, I'm not gonna say details about it because I don't want strangers coming and being like, hey, remember the cat at the trailer? Blah, 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 blah. Or your dog Princess, blah, blah, blah.
Every stranger, please, if you look like Vicky and you're at least 5 years older than her, please talk about the cat at the trailer.
No. See, the thing is, like, if an older black woman came up to me...
I didn't say that. You said that. You're revealing all your secrets.
No, when I was younger, I would believe because there wasn't a lot of people that looked like me when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So that's like seeing an older version. The same things kind of happened with my partner's niece. Like, she took to me immediately because I'm like her but grown up. People call us twins, and it's like, she's my little twin. And it's wild where it's like, you can tell, like, this person is like me, so you would almost immediately believe them. But if it was like someone that was different, like just random person, personal details that no one could know, that would instantly get me to believe time travel.
And that's also why, like, and this is where I get overly complicated in my own ways of looking at the world. But that's why I'm like, there's nothing I can say out loud. It has to be something I don't tell people. Like I don't tell people, and I purposely don't tell people just in case I happen to be able to go back in time and be like, whoa, wait, look.
Another good point is me experiencing paranormal or supernatural things as a young kid. And then me not telling people that. Because, like, there's events you experience as a kid, and you think it's clearly, I mean, again, I don't know, it's supernatural, so I just, like, no one's going to believe you. And so if they're time travel me, future me, will come to me like, remember, Patrick, the one time you went rollerblading? Yes. You'd be like,
okay,
oh, God.
So, okay, let's talk about how adults find children. How would you find your, like, okay, let's pretend that you have a time machine and can take you any place and time. It's not complicated. Just boom. I want to go to this address at this time period. Go. How do you reasonably talk to an underage version of yourself without going to jail?
I would find myself in the library because
how old are we talking about?
You have to tell me, because the more I talk, the more I feel like this sounds like a crime.
No, I was like 10 or 11, like going to the library by myself. But like, I feel like an adult could reasonably approach a child in a library and just, I mean, this is coming out worse and worse. It's not like on the streets where you see an adult strange man go up to a child or strange person. But like in a library.
To be fair, they're going to be scareder of me than both of you.
No.
No matter what. I'm going to jail without trying way quicker than both of you, because you're a female and you're not as tall as me and I'm black. So I'm scary by default in 2 ways. Tall and black? Oh, wait, sorry. And male, 3 ways. I'm all the things. I'm the nicest guy. I'm all the scary things. Just
You got glasses though. You kind of play it off. You got glasses. You're fine.
Glasses.
You got glasses. You're fine.
No,
you're fine.
Ted Bundy. No. Actually, I don't remember Ted. Who was the guy? Timothy, shoot, I don't remember my murderers, serial killers, and terrorists very well, but some of them wore glasses, so it doesn't pass.
Yeah,
so.
I'm blanking on all of them, but I feel like there's places where adults can interact with children, and it's fine if they're like, call over a kid, be like, hey, kid, could you bring me some tissues? Like, and the kid probably would because you're taught manners and courtesy. But it's not to give people ideas of how to snatch kids.
Oh boy.
I'm just saying that in my case, I could find myself in the library. Like,
yeah, I don't know. Because I know
that's a really weird question, but it's a very honest question. Because if you were actually time travel, you'd be like, "How am I gonna encounter myself again? How would I do it?"
Yeah,
that is true.
Because look, I know for a fact that if I tried to talk to myself at like where I lived as a kid, and I lived in a lot of places, which I do not remember all of the addresses. If my mom saw me coming, literally me, she'd be like, "Get the fuck away from me!"
Like, normally, yeah.
It's like time to cross the street.
There's no way. I'm not going to knock on my door and be like, hey, I want to talk to your son. Like, I'm going to have a whole alibi.
Ooh,
like,
I know exactly. Take the bus rides. I would be another traveler just sitting on the bus and be like waiting for me to kind of...
No, look, I'm a nice person and I'll listen to you, but you're going to have to sell yourself quick on the bus ride. Like, when I'm going home
it'd be easy. He would just say, I would be like, hey, you listen to music, and like we talking about anime. Cori, if you were on the bus right and someone's talking about anime, you'd be like, you talking about anime?
You'd be instantly hooked.
Like, look,
you'd be into it.
Me at my age, if I went to go talk to like my 16-year-old self on the bus from home from school, like the city bus, I don't know. I don't know if I could have pulled that off. Like, I think I could do it, but I'm thinking my 16-year-old self would be like, the fuck is this? I'd be polite, but I would be very uncomfortable. Like, why are you talking to me? Because I was like that with people my age at 18. So,
right.
I knew a dude real friendly. I'm like, why are you talking to me? Like, I'm thinking it like, And then, why is he talking to me? Why are you still talking to me? You're way too friendly. Like, that's just how I was at 18. So at 16, I don't know. I don't think I could pull it off.
I learned not to talk to adults on the bus because shortly after moving up to Minnesota when I was 13, a man was talking to me on the bus and was, let's say, inappropriate for how he was communicating and staring and things. So it's like I learned real quick to be like, I don't talk to people on the bus. That is not how to find past me.
Well, anyway, we can go on and on and on and on.
Yeah. Hopefully we don't get our past selves kidnapped.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man. Shoot. Now I'm just thinking, like, how would I talk to myself? I don't have a good plan for this at all. But I probably never will have to figure that out. And if I do, God help us all. So, Vicky, do you know what we're watching next week?
I do, in fact, know what we're watching next week. It's called Vanitas no Carte. It's about a vampire, and he reads a book, and a doctor that's trying to make vampires sane. I don't know. It looks interesting.
Is this the one where they're trying to cure vampires?
Yeah.
Okay. The name doesn't sound familiar, but I did hear someone talk about that. So, okay.
And it's not even to cure vampirism. It's apparently vampires are like
they're sick,
crazy.
And he's trying to heal them. Not goddamn. Anyway, he's trying to cure them of a vampire-related issue, not vampirism.
Mm-hmm. So I was like, you know what? It's been a while because honestly, I would probably have found this on my own and just like watched it because I go for the.
Right. It's a very Vicky show.
Yeah, it's not so much a cult, but it's like other, and it's like it seems like a darker tone where it's like, what's the one anime? It's like Darker Than Black. It's similar.
Yeah.
It almost seems like that. So I'm like, yeah. This kind is kind of like what I'm drawn to, where I'm like, I could give that a go.
Someday they'll rename that to Vanta Black, and then we won't have to keep saying that. I don't know. There's something about that title that always feels like it's not the right title. Darker. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Not a bad show though. 2 seasons.
Darker Than Black was cool. I like it.
I felt like the story was kind of whatever, but the action was pretty good.
Yeah.
So yeah, Vanitas no Carte.
Yeah, write that in the chat, please, so I can remember that.
I'll send that.
I'll forget that name. I honestly, I kept trying to remember, like, what's the name of the show I'm watching this week? What's the name? And then at the beginning of the episode, I'm like, what is the name of the show? There's something about Remake Our Life that I'm like, Remake Our Lives, Remake My Life, Your Life. The words. Anyway, Patrick, do you have any idea what you want to watch next week?
Yeah, there's a show. It's called Tante wa Mo Shinderu, and I don't know. It's just I wanted to pick something within the season because next season looks a little more promising. But
so excited!
Yeah, I'm excited for next season. I'm really excited for next season. But this one's about like a detective. But yeah,
Vicky, you're gonna watch Shield Hero. If I gotta do a whole podcast to make you watch it, you're gonna watch it. All right. If I'm watching season 3, you're gonna watch one episode. Damn it! Sorry, Patrick. You don't have to watch Mushoku Tensei though, so you're good.
No, I would like to watch Mushoku Tensei. It looks interesting.
Season 2.
I just got no time. Also, I've been binge watching My Hero Academia. Like, so good.
Good job. Everybody, round of applause for Vicky.
Shinso. If I knew that it would have like the first half all about like Shinso, I would have been on it immediately. I love that dude. And then he's gotten adopted by Aizawa, basically. It's everything come true. Hopefully he joins Class 1A. Oh, that would just be the best. I'm not done yet, but yeah, I'm catching up.
Yeah, I still gotta watch today's episode. You said, sorry again. So do it for me again, Patrick. I interrupted again.
You know what? I'm just looking it through. I'm like, I could pick that one, or I could just pick the fun one, which I think I will pick the fun one instead.
Okay. That one you got at least a week and a half to figure that out. I'm still pulling for Idaten and Finna. I will guaranteed pick both of those if neither of you do, and then we'll roll into the next season behind as always. And I'm gonna enjoy whenever ReZero comes back, Jujutsu Kaisen comes back, Mushoku Tensei comes back, Shield Hero comes back. I feel like I'm missing one, but those 4 cannot wait. At least 2 of them are coming out next season. Yes.
The anime I'm looking forward to comes out next season.
Oh my goodness! Excited. I'm interested to see what that one is.
Whatever that is.
How about if you guys look at the fall 2021 list on like my anime listing, see if you can like find the one that I'm gonna recommend because it's on there. Like you can see
it's on there. I can just guess, right?
Yeah,
I can just guess it.
It might be pretty obvious.
Is it Maou Evologia?
Yes, it is.
Oh god damn it! I knew it.
Yes,
I knew it. I was like, it was so easy to pick. Why was it? It wasn't that difficult at all.
I think in the English titles, I reincarnated into Demon King Evologia's.
Yep.
Hell yes, that is
Maou
my pick.
Evologia ni mi wo sasageo. Yes. I mean that's clear. I was like, okay, I was easy pick, easy game.
It was too easy.
Okay. For me, if you're on it, what is the show that I want to pick from this one?
From fall?
Yeah, from fall. Just bear off of the looks. I mean, mine's more
Shimatsu no Harem.
No,
is it?
Wait, which one's that one? Which was that one?
Shimatsu no Harem, or
not a harem. It's another high school one, but there's a couple there.
Is it 180 Byo de Kimi no Mimi wo?
Is it Mub Love?
Mub Love. It was not Mub Love.
I'm gonna bring up Love Love whenever I feel like it, because that's a whole thing.
That's actually Vicky. I mean, you just mentioned it, but that's actually something that's a weird pick.
Selection project.
I don't think you guys are gonna guess.
I can't believe this.
You guys are gonna guess it.
This.
I still haven't seen the horror that she's gonna make us watch. What was it called again?
Fall
You can't see
2021.
Oh, come on.
It's
Yeah, I'm looking at the live chart, not me. But what is it called again?
Maou Evologia ni well Sasageyo.
Look up just Maou Evologia. I can't even say Evologia.
I think it's Evologia.
Evologia.
But I've only read the manga, so I don't know how they actually pronounce it. Oh, I am.
Oh, so you are aware of this? You had previous knowledge. I see.
I am for once now manga first, anime second. I
would like you to know that when I search for images, eventually it came up to that little 15-minute, that little 7-minute show we talked about not too long ago.
Don't look it up.
It popped up.
Don't let us watch it for you.
You know what I'm talking about? That little 7-minute show we were talking about?
No.
Vicky?
Yep, I am not.
Yep. Just looking at images.
Nope.
And then there they are. No, it's not. It's not bad. It's not bad.
Is it the one with the cat ears?
Yes, maybe. Yes.
Shinkai no Mi. I'm still trying to find Patrick's choice for next season.
You guys are I'm gonna guess it. It's more of a Kimi Todoke pick. Kind of related.
Oh man. Okay. So it's
Vicky, I'm not that into harems. I feel like I'm being judged. Every pick Vicky's picking like all the ladies. Just throw in the ladies.
Wow, that is quite the image.
Yeah.
Don't look at the images.
Don't look it up.
I'm already looking at the image.
Look it up.
Deiji meets girl? I can't believe I can't guess.
No one's gonna get it.
Dang.
That's actually that one looks nice too. Actually, Deiji meets girl.
Are there magical girls?
No, it's just nothing supernatural. It's literally high school anime.
Komi-san?
Yeah, that's the one.
You know, I looked at it and I thought I was like, it's that one. But then I was like, no, it can't be that one. Dang.
It's that one.
I should have just went with my first gut.
First pick, yes. All right, do not look up Maou Evologia. Do not look at that. I looked it up.
You gotta spoil yourself.
I don't look it up.
See what I put on there? God. Check Discord.
Nope. Not
don't look it up, you guys.
Don't look it up. You guys, this is what you don't do. Don't look up that. Don't look up Redo Healer. These are shows you don't look up. Don't look up Goblin Slayer.
Hey, I'm just saying. Don't look up
these shows.
The plot is very interesting for my pick. Mm-hmm. It's
big plot.
Interesting. It's an interesting plot, and it's a change up that you don't usually see in romance anime.
Long plot, big long plot. Real, but tight. Tight like.
Wait a minute. I have a question. Before I spoil myself, are they both guys or is that a girl?
That's the implication.
I was just
strongly, because that looks like a girl.
No, I just had to ask. But you know what? Do you know what this says? I'm really good at guessing.
Yeah.
Because that guy looks dead on like a girl, but you don't see anything below like the neck, so there's no way to be obvious other than that. So it's like, that looks like a girl.
It's a great story, is all I'm.
It's a great story, right?
And you're gonna be surprised at the combinations of things because you think you know, but you don't know. It's great.
Do I need to know?
It's gonna be great.
Is this educational? Is that what we're going for?
No. It's just gonna be great.
I'm excited. I personally am excited because it's not something I would watch. And so,
Nope, not at all. Not even a little bit.
That's why it's great. I mean,
I think the worst I've ever gone was Legal Drug. That was about it, and that was 2 volumes, and that was bought for. Well, I think I bought the first one myself.
That's right, y'all. This was for the Fujoshi and the Fudanshi. It's a real one for you. A 9 for sure.
It's gonna be a 9.
Now we're gonna have reincarnated demon lords.
Oh boy.
Well.
All right. So with that being said, we know what we're watching next week, which is not the demon lords that are reincarnated. It is what again?
Vanitas no Carte, or the case study of Vanitas. The case study of Vanitas.
I'm gonna forget that name too. And that has been next week's host, Vicky.
Let's go back in past and kidnap our past selves in various ways.
No. And your less intimidating male co-host, Patrick.
All I gotta say is heal.
And somebody who does not want to go back in time because I'm okay. It just took a while. I've been Cori, and this has been Taku Katsu.
Bye.
Bye.
Matane.
All right. The real question, Vicky, is: are you gonna make us watch the uncensored version?
Absolutely. If there is a choice, you gotta get the.
There's gonna be 2 versions of the show.
If it's on VRV, I will watch it. If it is censored, too bad.